Greetings everybody, Miss Scars from the UK, the third of my coronavirus lockdown. I hope you're doing well, I hope you're keeping safe. Hi to all those on the front line doing their bit to help people, and for those that really are truly have it in your heart to help people, all the health professionals, all the retailers, hats off to you. We appreciate it. Thank you once again. It's sunny, it's wonderful. I'm back from the shop. I thought to myself, I'm going to go out and do it because I do get a lot of interruptions sometimes from home. So my second last video, I had to keep pausing it. I'll probably do it sometimes here because there are a few more people than normal, but it's a beautiful day and lots of people are smiling. It's amazing. And even strangers that don't know you, they smile at you and ask how you are. And where I'm living, it's pretty much friendly, but it's even more friendlier. People are more relaxed around here, coping with the lockdown and what's happening in the world. And rip to all those that have died, more are still dying. So we thank God for every day we live. Oh yes, we do. Although people are very happy, I'm not seeing many people on the streets when I go shopping. I can see like the fear in the eyes. Sometimes I say, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. We might as well enjoy ourselves while we can because I don't know when I'm going to die. And it's really sad to hear that. But it is a kind of worrying time for everybody now. And if you can try not to worry, that's the first step to helping your mind to cope with the trauma. Instead of your mind attacking you, it's called toxic thoughts, and it's so easy to worry. But if we feel this way, it will just make us feel a lot more worse. So there's things a lot of people are doing, a lot of people are hitting YouTube, and it's amazing, and it's really great that, and I do appreciate a lot of people are talking about how they've recovered, going through the coronavirus process, and they're in hospital, they're out of hospital, and we get deeper revelation and understanding, knowledge of this coronavirus. It's really nice hearing it from people that have actually been through it and have come out the other side, and even hearing from those that loved ones have died, and we can get a grip of really how they're coping with it and what it's really like for them. It's really amazing that everyone's reaching out, exercise and so forth, and a lot more must reach out, encouraging the nations of the world throughout this process. It's very trying time for a lot of people, but you know what, as I always say, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So the other day I was still hearing of panic buying. I thought it was over, but that's since a few stores in London and a few more rudeness and so forth. But it is what it is. We all have anger and temper in us, and the capability to love others and the capability to hate also. But this is a time where I feel like the whole world is, for the most part, standing still. And for me, how I get through it, I like to see the good out of every bad, as I said before. And a lot of things was coming to me, I was thinking, oh, I never thought of that, because when you think it's all gloom and doom, you can see a lot of good coming out of this tragedy. It's so sad to take the coronavirus and the deaths of many for people to see the good that's come out of it. And a lot of people are talking about it as well. You know what, I never thought of this, never thought of that. For example, when you're going to work and you're working mad hours and everything's so rushed, you're on you're on London or Birmingham or whatever transport, and you wake up, and I've often heard this expression, I feel like I've worked already. I've done a 12 or 8 hour shift already. It's so packed and everyone squashes on the tube and you can't get to sit down. It probably takes an hour for you to get to work, or half an hour or 45 minutes. And sometimes you get up and you say, not today, Lord, but I have to work, I have no choice. I don't want to get the sack, I don't want to get in trouble. I just want to walk into this world where there are people, but I'm not squashed every time or shoved when the bus comes, and everyone's just clamours for the bus because it takes every 15 minutes or 10 minutes, especially walking in certain areas, and you're kind of like shuffling and you're thinking, oh my God, I've got 10 more minutes. And you're like this every day. Some people work 7 days for months, some 6, some 5. And the amount of complaints, and we all know this, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but sometimes it's just nice to think of how the world was before this. Even though I don't really like it, I see the good out of it. And when you're you know, trying to get cash from the machines and people standing so close. Sometimes I have to turn and say, excuse me, space please. You know, you have to ask people for space. And you know, it's just that you go in shopping mall and it's just packed, especially during bank holidays, Black Fridays, Christmas, you know, all the holidays and celebrations and so forth. And you just, you know, you come home and you don't even enjoy shopping, and now you're like an island, like hardly anyone's there. I would love to see a lot more people, but it's nice to have that break. I feel like the world needed a break. You know, the world needed a break. There was a time when I was growing up, shops couldn't open, stores couldn't open on Sundays. You know, if you needed a store, tough. You know, people had a break, but now it's 24/7 going, traffic, the pollution was terrible, especially in London. It's really bad. Basically, it's one of the worst in the world. And I thought, really? You know what I mean? And so that has to get better. You know, and there's a lot of crime, of course. Youth crime is probably one of the worst crimes, whether it's acid, knife, or gun. It's all over the world. It's just one of the worst. Our children are dying before our time, and before their time, sorry, even before their grandmother, their mother's still alive. You know, it's the signs of the time. And I wouldn't say crime has stopped completely. Let's say over 90% of it, sex trafficking. You know, the borders are shut now, so haha, you can't get little girls and lie to their parents like, I'm going to give your children a wonderful life. All that has to be stopped, because you know, you can't have trolleys just lorries, sorry, just roaming the streets and the roads and the motorways, little girls, you know, and selling them, and you know, telling their parents they're doing well, but they're not. You know, so much have stopped, so much evil has stopped. I'm not saying evil has stopped completely, but so much haven't. Drug pushing on the streets and gangs, and you know, you're coming home from work, you're the only female, you see a gang of 20, I've seen it, and they're kind of like, you're right, love, and come here. And you feel, my God, if all of them surrounded me, I'm a dead meat, you know. A lot of that have stopped, and the world needed to rest. And you can think about that. If you think, oh my God, this is just all negative. A lot of it is negative and it's evil, but a lot of good have come out of it. You know, the world can have a rest, a break for a good while, and get our minds going in the right direction. Sometimes we're going to read this book, it's very positive, you don't never get to read it, you're working, you're studying, and you know, it's amazing. But for the young people, I'm so glad most, if not all, knife crimes have halted, because that used to upset me. I says, oh God, Mum, all these young people dying before their time, it's just, you know, it's horrible. Even if you haven't got children, I've got 3 beautiful daughters, and you know, I mean, I've heard many parents say, I'm glad I've got sons, I'm so glad. And it's sad to say that, but a lot of people are scared, so it has become better in a way. It's made the world kind of calm down. The traffic, I mean, if you're driving, I feel sorry for you. I don't drive, but you know, there's so many complaints about, and especially when there's so much construction work everywhere, like around here in the city centre where I'm in the West Midlands. There's so much construction work. When I was working at venues, and the customers would come like over an hour late, you know, want to see their favourite artists. They've missed most of the event, and it's sad, you know. They come crying, what the heck is wrong with this city? You know, all this construction work, so everyone can have a break. Your bank balance can have a break. You know, we spend so much, and we play hard, we work hard. You know, the amount of money we spend on travel is ridiculous. You know, it's just ridiculous. And then you buy food a lot outside, and you know, your bank balance can have a break, even though many people have become far more worse off financially because of this. You know what I mean? But that should get better. If the government are true in the UK, they should really give, and give quickly, and give. They may not give the amount that you've lost, especially if you run your own business. It's really sad about that, you know. But at least you can have a break. You know, a lot of people drink a lot, and they can't help it. Look, man, I work too hard, I just need a drink, and they want to stop. It's affecting their health, and they can't. I'm not saying that they can't drink, they can drink at home, but if you've got children, you probably don't want that much. It's probably halted so much things and bad habits that we have. I love drink, it's lovely. You know what I mean? But it's so easy to go over the top, and your money's 3/4 of your money going on it, and the other 2/4 on travel, and you think, I haven't got hardly any money. So your bank balance should have a break, even though you're probably getting less income with it's the grants and so forth. There's so much good that can come out of this. And as for the young people studying, well, I know it's hard. You really wanted to finish this year, you know, you couldn't stand half of the students, and some of the lecturers just, you thought they were talking at their rear end, and you know, you didn't enjoy it, or you did enjoy it, you went out, you had a good time, and it's hard for you. You used to do running, all kinds of sports, went on holidays, you know, with your parents, you know, every year, and they celebrated, oh, you've passed this year, and all that has gone to a halt. And you know, we're sociable beings, you know, this is natural, we love to socialise. Not everybody, some people like to keep themselves to themselves, and you're probably wondering now, what, I can't even go on my bike for more than an hour, my mummy shouts at me, and my brother, I can't stand him. When I was going uni or college, I had a break from this stupid dude, and you know what I mean, you know, you're stuck with him yapping in your ear or taking your stuff, and you feel trapped, you know. But when you think you got it bad, there's others that's got it a lot worse, a whole lot worse. And all the good you could see out of it, there's a whole lot more, but just, you know, showing some examples that I'm sure many of us have thought of. But I tell you, there's people living in high-rise flats, and you may have a garden, you know, and they've been abused, not because you're in a high-rise flat, they just got abusive, toxic family, and you know, or your husband's abusing you, or your wife's abusing you verbally and physically. And you said, well, at least I can go out for 8 hours a day, put my children in school, and one of them's turning just like mummy or daddy, and I can have a break, and now I can't have a break. You know, I'm stuck here. All I do is go to the shops, and I'm just, you know, it's just horrible. And when you think you got it bad, and for those that are pregnant, it's such a blessing to be pregnant, but can you imagine going to hospital in that time? They normally have separate buildings for pregnancy, but some hospitals don't. You go in the same door, and then they'll, you know, you have your own separate quarters in the mother and baby unit or whatever. And you know, so many people are dying still in hospital. So when you think you got it bad, others have got it worse. It's a wonderful thing to be pregnant. Trust me on that. Despite all that, you know, while you're giving birth, it's wonderful. But at this time, I'm just wondering what a lot of parents are feeling right now. May God bless you, may God be with you. And you know, this is a time, I've always had this thought that hardly anyone in this world is themselves. You know, we are so accustomed to being a carbon copy of somebody that we look up to or aspire to be, or that we hate but we fear. And it could be our parents, and it could be our colleagues, it could be our boss, it could be someone in the neighborhood that you know, they force you to be something you're not. And this is a time for you young people, and for everybody really, but I really want to target young people, especially from youth to in your late 20s, before you're 30. You're in the prime of your life, and you're stuck at home. I know some are going out, you can't go to your mates. Some of you, like, you was on this exercise regime, you're probably borderline diabetes, and you know, you made up your mind, says, yeah, I'm going to do this and that, an hour a day after school, and now you know, you can't, you probably haven't got a garden. Even if you've got a garden, it ain't big enough, and you know, I've got 5 other family members, and who's in my business, I can't do anything on my own. You feel like you're claustrophobic. This is a time where a lot of people may be far more introspective, you know, self-involved, and you're thinking of me, how can I get this situation? But like I said, the battle is in the mind. Now I'm going to read something to you, and I'm going to quote. It's a woman called Caroline Leaf. She's best selling book of Who Switched Off My Brain, or Switch Off My Brain. And I came across her, was on Sky about 8 years ago, and it takes about 2 or 3 minutes for me to hear somebody, and if I'm not feeling it, I'll just switch over. But this woman grabbed my attention, and I wasn't even looking for her. I came upon her on accident, and it was amazing. She wrote several books, and I've written it down. Think, Learn, Succeed. Think and Eat Yourself Smart, and Switch On Your Brain. But I could have swore it was Who Switched Off My Brain when I heard her. And I said that on my last video, but I'm not going to re-edit and redo this, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be raw and real. You see all my mistakes. I normally love things polished, but for this situation, I just feel it's best just to just go on as you mean to go on, despite mistakes and so forth. I know I've kind of paused it sometimes because some people are coming past, so I'm going to pause it again. Okay, I'm back now. She's a cognitive neuroscientist with a PhD in communications pathology. Since the early 1980s, she has studied and researched the mind-brain connection. Now, I'm quoting all this. These are not my words. She has traveled globally as an author and public speaker. And she says, when you direct your mind, you change your brain and change your life. Humility and brilliance together is a very powerful combination in developing mastery. It also enables you to be set free from the fact that you don't need to be anyone else, the toxic thoughts that get in people's way. And I've met people and I can tell they're not themselves and they're frightened. But you know what? You don't want to be a carbon copy of anyone else. You want to be yourself. You've got dreams and hopes like everyone else, and it's like, who do you think you are? You want me to be like you and die a carbon copy of you? I feel for young people, this is a time where you can really work on who you are. I don't want this to be a negative thing for anybody, especially the young. I don't want this to be a negative time for you. I know you may be going through anxiety. Some may even go through panic attacks. I've had it. I've been through worry. I've been through anger. I've been through frustration, anxiety. And I used to be in and out of doctors. There was a time I was so healthy, but then my thoughts became suddenly negative. I used to be positive. And I went doctor. And one doctor, she says to me, I never forget it, it's all in your head. You're not sick. What is wrong with you? The thing was, he didn't check me properly, and there was a few things wrong with me. It wasn't really serious, but it was enough to kind of made me quit studying. I went college and then uni. It was either that or I'd die. It became so serious, and my blood count and my iron level was dangerously low. That's what the doctor said when they tested me, and they only took testing my blood. They didn't test my iron. And one doctor says, you never had your iron test? That's terrible. Let me do your iron. And because my blood was count wasn't so bad, but then it just became drastically low. And so I couldn't study, almost fell down the escalators, and they called the ambulance when I was on the way to university, and I had to quit. And I was depressed for years. It's the first time I really went through depression. I'd never hardly smiled, but most of the times I do smile, you know. Because I'm like my dad, that's what he was like. He was a very happy, jolly person. And so I know what it's like. And I had negative thoughts, very negative thoughts. So this lady, Caroline Leaf, you can Google her, YouTube her. I think you can buy books on Amazon. Caroline Leaf, Leaf. I've paused this a few times now because there's more and more people walking around because the sun's out. If the lighting ain't that good, sorry, because I keep moving the I just want it to be good, so I'm sorry if you can't really see me that much. I can see me, but I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, and she talked about, she was on Sky, and it was amazing. I just can't even believe what she was saying. She was saying that she kind of took the Bible, and she was like saying the things in the Bible, or kind of contributing to the Bible, what she was seeing. And she had two trees. One was dark, one was lovely and green. And when we have negative thoughts, worry, stress, and blah blah blah, I know, jealousy, envy, confusion, anxiety, there's a list of it, a lot more than that. She says the trees become dark, and it produces toxins in your body, and you start having like age-related diseases and so forth. But when it's not, she showed the tree, and the branches are green. But I can't even say it good enough. I absolutely adore this woman. She's amazing. And she's been doing this for decades, and she just knows that she knows. And it's really good to buy the book, purchase a book. I didn't buy it. I meant to have, but I ended up buying other books instead. Okay, I just waited for two other lovers walking by. Oh, it's so nice to see people holding hands. It's so lovely. I miss all this. I miss going around encouraging people, and I miss a lot of people. You know, they do so much wonderful good in the world. We can't anymore, and see people holding hands, and we see a baby, you know, you cure over it. We can't do any of that anymore for now. I'm sorry, I deviated from the. I just saw two lovely couples. Anyway, yeah. So a lot of people. I went online. I was looking for something. Something just popped up, and it was like teenagers getting really, really stressed. and they can't cope and with what's happening. And so I really wanted to point to them first. They're our future, we're the future too, but you know, it's so important, and mothers galore and fathers are doing their best to encourage their children. But you do have families that are toxic and they just hate the children. Simple. They detest them, and the children know it, and now you're stuck with him and her. Oh, it wasn't so bad when you came home from school before daddy, who comes home and knocks it out of you, and now you're all in. And you may do work from home, you can't even breathe. You've like, shut up, I'm doing work from home. And I want you to know that you're special, and God created you for greatness. Doesn't matter what anyone says. And everybody wants you, you know, you have the black sheep of the family, you have the black sheep of the school, everybody picks on you and that, and you're home, and now you're even more negative because of this happening. You think, I never had a good life, and why was I ever born? And a lot of people go through a lot of anxiety, and just know that Jesus loves you. Just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Just hold on to hope, and know that this isn't the end, you know. I believe it's not the end. If it was, I'd be shocked. You know, a lot of people talk about this. I mean, I've met people, strangers don't know, and we have to keep our distance. And they turn around and say, I'm sure this is the end of the world. You know that song, this is the end of the world as we know it. And I'm shocked, you know. I'm thinking, I would have thought that they would say this is the beginning of the end, but they're saying this is the end. And you know, they have this kind of hopeless in the eyes, and they smile at you, but it's all in the eyes, you know, it's all in the eyes. And so I really love encouraging people. And you know, you can't really hug and touch people anymore, and I love hugging. I miss it. It's like air to me, you know, but you can't do that. Apart from those that are living with you, of course. Caroline Leaf, you know, she talks deep about the brain, and she goes, we have a brain that's connected to the heart. I think she says something like that, and she says, and there's a brain in front, and you stop the thoughts before it goes into your heart. A sustained thought will get into your heart, and what you say and you mean it will get into your heart. So, for example, you often hear women saying things like, I just don't trust any man. All of them are bad. I'm sure most, if not all, women have said that at one point, and we don't mean it. You know, our last partner's probably terrible and we just said it. But there's some women, a lot of women, that will say it and sustained. And when you go out there, it's out there, it's in your eyes, it's in your face. And when you meet somebody, you wonder why does yours get the men and I don't? You know, it's things like that. It's in your heart, and you believe in it, and to the point where it's happening in your life. And it's like you children, you know, that are studying in that, and you wonder if you're going to make it. You've got another year now, you know, or it's extended because of this coronavirus and lockdown. And you're thinking, oh God, man, I've studied. But you know what? A lot of young people, a lot of even middle-aged and older people, you know, we have modules, and some modules are core. If you don't pass it, you can forget it, honey. You ain't passing the whole course, and that's how it is with me, and that's kind of how it is. They may call it something different now, but and the modules that you're stuck on, a lot of people are doing it. And for those of you that even thought of it, you do it. You go online, you get Skype, and you know, have your friends, and you do what you can to study, pass the course. And you know, you have a mental fantasy of seeing yourself passing, seeing yourself, especially if you're at uni, being honoured, you know, graduated, and you pass, and seeing yourself doing things afterwards that you never thought you could do. Think higher than you normally think. At this time, we got our minds to work for us and to do good for us, you know. Just see yourself flying in the sky. Not literally, but, you know, in your field, whatever you want to do, whether it's poetry, drama. For those of you that love acting, you know, and used to go drama school, and you can't go it now because there's a lot of people that normally go there, like 20 or so forth, and it's on lockdown, temporary. And you know, you can go in front of the mirror and practice and practice. Don't give up. Don't say, oh my God, you know what I mean. They helped me to do method acting. They helped me to do improvisation. They helped me to do this. And now I have to wait until I get back. And I'm normally good when someone teach you. Teach yourself. Go on YouTube and say, how do you act like this and that? You know what I mean. There's so much we can do by ourselves. And there's some of you that don't even have internet. But if you've got a phone, hopefully a smartphone, you can go on that and you know, if you've got internet connections. And do, you know what someone says to me, whatever you've got, use what you've got and make it work to you, for you. But it's hard and difficult. I wasn't expecting to do this long, but this is important to me. I'm not going to edit. I know I'm stuttering a bit. I know I'm saying some words wrong because I don't care. I want you to see me in my raw state. Yeah. Normally, in future, if I do something else, it's not about the coronavirus. I will polish things. I prefer things polished. I love when people do things polished, but I just want people to see my raw state, you know, because I've got a heart for this, and whatever mistakes I make. So for those that love writing, they say writers should read. Well, you know what? Those that do acting, for example, it's good to watch films, and not just the up-to-date films or contemporary films. It's good to watch old classic films as well. Some of the best actors come from there, like Gone with the Wind, Wuthering Heights. When I watch films, I just love to see, can you hear the birds? Huh? I just love to see how the camera positions certain actions or reactions of people, and how the camera zooms in and how people act. I love that, and I see a lot more the lighting and everything, the music background. When I watch a film, that's how I watch a film. And you know, you can get a lot of acting tips from that. And there's some people that just, like, I watched Wuthering Heights the other day, and there's a member of my family that loves acting, two of them. I'm not going to say who they are. And they wanted to act a certain way. I says, oh my God, I know someone like it. Watch Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is very old fashioned. It's in black and white. And the acting is amazing. The children, oh my God, you see them when there was children, when they grew up. And one guy, he was such a dog. And when he was young, he was acting like a dog, and he was still a dog. He became an alcoholic. It was amazing. And I watched it. I love old fashioned stuff, and I do. I love contemporary too, and you know, you keep yourself alive. I always started, you know, I love watching things that make me laugh a lot. It's horrible when you got one telly and the parents are dominating it and you can't get to watch it in that. But in a lot of households, they've got more than one, two or three. And if you've got a video, or if you've got like Sky and it's connected to all, then you just go and watch something. If you feel sad, just go and watch something that makes you. It's like, have you ever played catchball? I don't know what it's called. I think it's called catchball back in the day. And then someone gets a ball, could be any ball, and you throw it, about 5 people in a circle, and I'm just remembering now, and you don't know who's you're going to throw it to, so you just suddenly throw it, and they can't catch it, but they have to kind of like touch it and throw it back at somebody else. And it's like that, when negative thoughts come, you just chuck it away and say, right, I'm going to sing in the garden. If you've got a garden, I'm going to do whatever I can to make myself happy, to get out of this. I'm going to say something. Keep away from hospitals and doctors if you humanly possibly can. Just stay away from hospital doctors. Obey the rules, because if you don't, you're going to make it worse for everybody else. I don't think, oh, I'm going to go out with my friends. I don't care, I'm so depressed. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll go out with my friends. That make me happy. I'm going to go out with 10. No. Because if they start putting down more rules, it'll be worse for everybody. You know, so don't do that. If you have to go out, like I'm out now, I was shopping, and normally I rest because I have bags with me and the bags are there, and I'll rest, but I'm resting. I said I want to do this self-tape here, you know what I mean, so I'm not disturbed too much. I wasn't disturbed that much, you know, but you know, it is what it is. So, you know, I'm trying not to break the rules for our benefit, for everybody's benefit. You know, you've got people, like I said before, with animals, and you know, they can still take the animals out, but if they have a complete lockdown, I heard something. Someone said it to somebody else who knows, somebody in the government said that it's going to be worse before it gets better. There's going to be more of a lockdown, or there's going to start issuing out something to people, you know, for them to come out. And I think it's because a lot of people are coming out in groups. I think they're more bothered by groups and you know, more than anything else. If you have to go shop, you can do exercise, you can go out for a while, you know, but I thought, oh God, you know what I mean? So I thought, well, the sun's out, I'm going to get my vitamin D while I can. If that was to ever happen, I know there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's just, I don't want it to get worse. So it's really important, young people, and not just young people as well, try not to break the rules, okay, you know, for everybody's sake, you know. So as I was saying, there's so much things you can do, you know, and we all know this, you know what I mean. I'm not telling people what they don't already know. Some people may not even know that, but A lot of people know this, but a lot of people, I believe, need reminding of it, because when your mind becomes toxic, thoughts, you're thinking of the negative, you're thinking, oh my God, I want to do this, I don't know if I can do this, I booked my holiday, I needed a holiday, that business deal, and the man was just about breaking, and I thought, oh my God, I had it next week and I can't go and see him. I know people are doing stuff from home, fax machines, phones and that, and so business is still continuing, but when you see people, you can really hold their attention, and like I said, a lot of people lost their jobs, so it could be very trying. There's some people that are maniac. I was one of them. I loved working. I had 3 jobs, and it meant the world to me. Sorry if you can hear some noise in the background, it's just some people walking past. And my second job, they lost some contracts, so I wasn't really getting the work coming in as much as I wanted, so I just went for another job, you know what I mean? I just put my mind on it and went for another job. I didn't fear. Oh my God, there was times I was concerned, like the money's getting dry, but I just keep myself at the backside. That's what you have to do. And I just looked for more work, and I got this really wonderful, and I really love it. And I did it about 3 weeks, and then it's licensed premises, and the government says, I have to shut down, so they shut it down. And with 3 jobs, you know what I mean, you can make a decent amount of money. Even the second job, I know, like when, the work picks up in the summer or in the spring, during spring and so forth, and during Christmas and that, it really picks up, It's kind of one of those jobs where, it's because of the contract I've signed. It's like you get it when you can, but there's times I've worked like no tomorrow, and I was a maniac. I worked like nobody's business, and I hated staying in, and then I had to stay in, and I thought, oh well, at least I can go for a walk. And then my mum went berserk, and then so much jobs I've never had in all my life came in through my phone, through other companies wanting workers to do security or whatever at retail stores and so forth, and other places. And I thought, great. I spoke to my mum, and she locked it down. If you're gonna work, you might as well leave. And my brother as well, he wasn't allowed to work, and so you don't have to go out. And she freaked out, like the coronavirus. Now, my mum's really cool, and she's like solid, emotionally strong, very emotionally strong and physically strong. She has a few pains because she had this job years ago, and it kind of wasted the muscles in her arms or in her shoulders, and she had to do things quickly with her hands, and I think that's what happened. But back in the day, they didn't know why, but we know why now. And apart from that, she's strong, but she says, you know what, when I come in, I don't give me no virus, you know what? That's my layman terms. In layman terms, your layman terms, I don't want you going out and getting this freaking virus and bringing it back to me. You must be joking. You know what? If you walk here, go get out and live by yourself. Live on the street, we look here. If you are going to work, you better get out. Live on the street for all I care. Now, I'm sure she didn't mean all of it, but she was so frightened because she watched the news 24/7. The news is on when she sleeps, and I keep telling her. I managed to get to her and says, Mum, you've got to lock it off. Don't always watch the news. Yes, you've got to watch it a little, but just watch in bite size, and don't listen to every single detail you make, because she's thinking, yeah, oh no, I'll go give me the virus. You lot are going to give me the virus. And it was terrible. And I says, my God, you're locking me down. And she locked me down going shop. I says, I have to go shop, Mum. I have to go chemist, sometimes I have to go post office. Once a week. No, once every 2 weeks you go out. Anyway, 2 days ago I broke that rule because she let my brother do what he wants. I think she's a bit scared to confront him. He's a maniac. Enough said. So she was just taking out what she wants to say to him. I mean, I don't want to really talk about her like that. A lot of people are feeling the same, and I understand, but I am so careful. I have a lot of smarts, common sense. I really do, and I don't go near people. I like to go, like I've worked out the times to go when there's not a lot of people there, so I'm smart. But can you imagine what it did to my brain? And there's a lot more than that. I just don't want to go through anymore. You don't have to know anymore, but I'm just giving you an example. So a lot of us are going through trying times and difficulties, and we have loved ones, and it's like sometimes people may want you to fear. If you don't feel something wrong with you, what's wrong with you? You're not scared, eh? What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? What is wrong with you? Aren't you afraid? No, I'm not, because I was determined not to be afraid. It is scary for a lot of people, but I've been through it. I nearly died for it. You know what I mean? I was stressed, anxiety, and the doctor will say to me, please stop being so anxious. I had nightmares because of it, toxic thoughts. You know what I mean? And you can turn them into good. We've all been there. You know, you can turn them into good, and like, you're going to be challenged. You'll have people that will come up to you and say, you know, you're not being realistic. Look what's happening in the world. What's wrong with you? And so I appreciate what's happening in the world, but I choose to be positive. And we're going to have our downfalls, I do, but you kick yourself back up, and it's not you start again, you continue. You know, I mean, this is important because after all this is done, my mum started feeling ill, and she rarely gets ill. She doesn't really get ill. Seriously, my mum is stronger physically than I am, but she's having all these symptoms, and it's not the temperature or the breathing. You know, it's none of them. But you know, I'm getting headaches, I'm getting this. I'm sure I got the virus. You lot keep going out, and I hardly went out. I obeyed my mum, and she's still moaning. So, you know, what can you do? And I says, Mum, it's because you keep watching too much news. Lock it off. You know what I mean? Give yourself a break, you know. Because news, the reason why I stopped watching news, period, before, I only watch it if it's something important, but I just watch it in small bite size, a minute or two or three, and that's it. And some may say, yeah, but look what's happened to people, they're dying, you know what I mean? It's your responsibility to watch it and know what's happening. I understand that, but I have faith that I'll be okay. And even if I wasn't okay, I believe I could die and go to heaven. I really believe it, but I believe I'll be okay. More than okay. That is arrogant of you. Well, you know what I mean? It's time for us to be ourselves. Because some people are scaring other people into being scared. They can't help it, God bless them. My mum's doing that, she doesn't realise it. I have to say, look, Mum, I appreciate your feeling, and don't worry, I'm very careful and I'm very clean. You see, before all this happened, I was really, really clean. I used to be so clean, it was ridiculous, especially with my washing of my hands. And people in my car used to say, what's wrong with you, man? You've already washed your hands. But I just put my hands in the waste, I need to wash it again. Oh, for God's sake, just use a tissue. I says, that ain't going to cut it, sweetheart. And I'll be criticised for being clean. Sorry, there's these wasps around. I bet you're not criticising me now, though, huh? But it's amazing, I've seen so much people, you know, their hygiene have changed, and it's just amazing. You know what I mean? So, sorry, I've just been a bit interrupted. Yeah, so you've just got to fight it and see yourself as a champion. Yeah, be bold like that. See yourself as a champion, because one thing I've noticed, and I've known this years ago through my own experience and other people's, the mind, it all starts in the mind. The battle is in the mind. And if you get that right, it's not going to take overnight. It could even take years, but each day you'll get better and better, and you might have relapses. I've been through it all, you know what I mean? But I was really a sick woman. I started thinking negative, and I nearly died of it. People die of stress. Doctors are honest, they say stress is the biggest killer. So watch how you think during this time. You know what I mean? I saw one man on TV. This was probably the beginning of March. And oh God, the man was crying. And I showed him crying, looked at his business and says, you know, they told me to close it. And I thought, oh, bless him, you know. And I saw him, and he just was so distraught. And that's where it begins. He might go home now. You probably have family loving him, and don't worry, it's going to be. But you know what I mean? It's good to encourage each other, and it's good to think positive. And we all have our downfalls, but don't let anything get in the way of that. And don't let negative people, I don't care if you're family members, I don't care who they are, you know, put you down. You know what I mean? Because thoughts become things, yeah? So don't let them put you down, and watch how you think during this time. Just know that you are a champion. There's a little champion inside of you waiting to come out, and be yourself, because there's nothing worse than not being yourself. I'm being myself now. You know what I mean? There's a few sides to me. I'm a bit quirky sometimes, and I make noises like, you know what I mean? And people, they laugh because, oh my God, you're so crazy. You really are peculiar. You're so quirky. If I had a penny for every time they say that. When I was younger, I would just talk to people, and they would just laugh out loud. That's why I'm being a bit more serious. I don't want people to laugh. I want them to be happy, but I want them to like take what I'm saying seriously. And I used to think, why the hell they're laughing? And there was a short period of my time I thought, gosh, I wish I wasn't me. I wish I was somebody else. A lot of people going through it, not just young people, but for you young people, the future is yours for the taking. So grab it with both hands, number one. Number two, be determined to be yourself. And some of us, we're like, I've tried to be so many people to please everybody. I don't know who the heck I am. You will know. You just contemplate, time reflection, just